Hi everybody, welcome to the 17th episode of the Chicken Chess Club podcast. My name is Jan Gustafsson. I am being joined by my dear friends Peter Heine Nielsen and Laurent Fressinet. We are all back in different parts of the world. I'm back home in my basement in Hamburg. Laurent is sitting somewhere in the French countryside playing, I guess, French championship. Laurent, Did you even go back home? Did you travel directly from India to the farm you're currently on? What's happening?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I traveled the 11th, 25 hours travel from hotel to next place, and I went directly. I had no time to go home, and I played on the 12th, the very next day, the first round of the French Championship, which is a new system this year, knockout. 16 players, and you play 2 classical games. If it's 1-1, then you go ahead with the Rapid, Blitz, and Armageddon. So far, I do all my classical games. In the first round, I was playing a good young IM who was 2500, and it was a tough match. I won only in the Rapid. And yesterday was kind of, at the time of recording, it was yesterday, I played against Godzoli, who was in India as well as a coach of the women's team. Very strong player, obviously, around 2600. And, I won in the Armageddon. That was just a shame. I played very poorly. We both played very poorly. I won the first Rapid, he won the next 2 games. He won the second Rapid, and he won the first Blitz. Then it was just, I was busted in the last Blitz, but he gave me everything and I won the Armageddon. So it was kind of tough. So I'm now in the semi-final, and I will play my old friend for many years, Mr. Bacro. So let's see. Let's see. Tomorrow, first classical game, and after tomorrow, second classical game, and maybe tie breaks. So yeah, I spoke way too long, Peter. Hi, Peter. I'm glad I met you in Chennai quickly.
No, it should be
That was...
Yeah, I said hi, and then I left immediately, and you should be happy about that, because the moment I came in off the door back in Lithuania, I tested positive. I felt bad on the way back, so basically I said hi to my family, and then I checked into a hotel, and except for a few hours on my kid's birthday, a couple of days ago, I have basically been self-isolating since. And I felt crappily in the beginning. Now it's better, but I'm not fresh yet. So basically, while you're living the life, I'm just trying to cut myself from
get well soon. All the best. I heard there were quite a few cases of people that got back from the Chess Olympiad in India and then tested positive. I hope everybody will be fine. Maybe it also came a bit with the territory. Sorry?
No, nothing to do. I mean, like, at some point, I stopped to think during the last game, and I heard some incredible amount of coughing, at the same time. I mean, nothing you could do, really. I mean, too many people, and people are not... I'm the first one not really willing to wear the mask if it's not mandatory. So it's clear that I don't know how many percent got the COVID, but I hope everybody got well, and we have to live with it. I mean, that's my take on it. We have to be a bit careful, but of course, nothing we can do.
In case you were wondering, Laurent Fressinet is also a virologist. He's a chess grandmaster, virologist. You can trust him.
Thank you.
I mean, there is nothing that we can do. There's actually quite some things we can do.
Yeah, but when you're there in India...
We can wear a mask, for instance.
Are we going to cancel the Bermuda part? I mean, we could just... It was possible not to make the...
Okay, let's not get too crazy.
Yeah.
No, but of course it was also... The rules were that if you tested positive, you should move within India to a quarantine hotel, and obviously you wouldn't be able to continue the Chess Olympiad, which makes sense, but I guess it also meant that in practice not a single player of the Chess Olympiad tested once during the event, because it's not something that you want. But yeah, I also had the same notion as Laurent on the last day. there was a lot more coughing, which, yeah, it is what it is. I hope everybody will be all right. But
to be fair, I was a bit coughing. I was not sure. I didn't think I had COVID, but I didn't test myself. I had to stay there like 10 more days if you're tested positive. I mean, okay. I thought I didn't have, but I didn't even make the test. And I know I'm not the only one. Because okay, that was just too annoying.
I also only tested when I was back, for instance, so I'm not allowed to moralize on law.
I'm a professional. I got COVID 2 weeks before the chess Olympiad, so I got it out of the way. But yeah, obviously it was around, and I guess it's
to be fair, you came from another.
I might have gotten it at the closing ceremony of the candidates tournament in Madrid, where there were also a lot of reports, even high profile, no, like Ding, Rajabov, of people that had potentially gotten COVID after that one. Yeah, it's not supposed to be a COVID episode, and I should mention, I was joking, Laurent Fressinet is not a virologist. Do not trust him. So let's maybe get back to the Olympiad. I've been back home for, I don't know, 5-6 days. It feels like a long distance away already, no? Uzbekistan won the Olympiad with a very young team. Congratulations to them. They beat Germany. The last time we recorded, I was still full of hope. We were facing the Uzbeks next round. We lost 1.5 to Uzbekistan. Then we drew Peter's people later, the Lithuanians, and there was no recovery from any of that. Also lost to the young Indian team with Gukesh, Prak, Sarin in the last round. So disappointing finish for Germany. Laurent, how did you guys end up? I actually don't know how you did last round.
You finished 11th, right?
No, we finished below that, I think. I don't want to lie, 17th or 18th. It was very bad.
Okay. So we also drew this surprising team of Lithuania. Actually, 2-2. We lost the last two boards.
We did as well. Paulinavicius crashed both our tournaments.
Yeah. It's pity because actually we had 2 games left. And I was much better, but Lagarde didn't realize, and he was playing this guy, Pauliti Novus, or whatever his name is, with very good players. Nice. And he could repeat the moves, but he didn't have time to check my position, and he would have taken like few minutes to calculate that I was winning.
He just assumed that we were just because of you.
I don't know. He thought it would be a draw. Well, I was much better already, but that's a pity. And so while we spent most of the tournament in the top 10, we drew strong team as India, Netherlands, well, so another one from the top 10. So we all win rating points, except I think for Maurizi, who is losing two points. But Moussa played incredibly well on first board. He didn't lose a single game, won 15 points, and now he's close to 2,700. So we played okay, but at the end of the day, we made 2 draws in the last 2 rounds against Lithuania and Greece. And that's a disaster, so we finished 13th, which is obviously not... okay, we started 15th, so... I mean, it's not a disaster, but I felt we deserve, considering our rating performance, we clearly deserve a bit more. We deserve a top 10, let's say. 8th or 9th would have been fair, I guess. But it was a good event, and as you said, Uzbekistan was really amazing. Moldova came out of nowhere and beat England in the last round, and they finished 5th, I think, or 6th. I mean, just incredible.
Yeah, that was also insane. Our guys, which maybe was a bad sign, they really wanted to play Moldova last round, and then got the young Indians. But yeah, Moldova, just amazing. I knew about this board 1, Shitgo, but I haven't heard about many of the other players, frankly, and to finish 5th in the Olympiad is just stunning.
Okay, Amitevici.
Of course, he's been around, of course. No, it's actually not true.
And he won the last game against McShane, which, won the match. Yeah, this guy Shitko, well, I didn't see many of his games, to be fair, but I saw he drew Magnus, in round, I think it was round 10, when they beat Norway. And then he drew Adams. So, well, he's probably
that was
a very strong player. Another surprise, actually, I'm talking about Norway, but Norway finished 59th, which is a disaster. I could see, I was sharing the same hotel than Norway, and I could see they were like depressed during the second part of the event. I mean, like, everything was going bad, but at the end of the tournament, they were kind of relieved. It felt to me that they were kind of relieved that it was over.
Yeah, Norway is a strange result. They were actually seeded third. Yeah. Basically seemed unimaginable it could end up like this. And it was not like Magnus was not doing particularly bad. He lost a bit of rating because of a couple of draws in the end. But he was doing fine, while in early Olympiads, he's actually done pretty badly. Here he did well, but the rest of the team just collapsed. Yeah. And, that was very difficult to predict. They even brought Hammer.
Yeah, right? And the funny part, I was mocking a bit Magnus for that. They played in all 2 at some point, which is kind of, for a world champion, you play in hall 2. I still don't know. I will never know where was that hall. That's really not. Getting close to it already is kind of very, very bad sign.
Yeah, I was also never there, which I still find sad. I didn't see 75% of the chess Olympiad, other than the Bermuda party. But Peter was, of course, there. Peter, during his extensive talks with volunteers, meeting everybody at the chess Olympiad during his 1.5 hour visit, he stopped by. But having said all this, Peter, I think it was great that you went to India and that you also came to visit the playing hall. I know it was a big trip on short notice where you also had to put up, I guess, your own money. So I'm happy you came there. I hope it was worth your time and efforts.
Very much. It was, it looked like a greatly organized Olympiad where also people really enjoyed being there. And, you can mock me for tweeting with the Indian volunteers, but I will still say that they were impressive to me. For instance, in my hotel, it's always nice to be recognized, but you get sort of quite specific questions about the 2008 World Championship match and such. It seemed like to become a volunteer, you had to go through a thorough application process. Simply, they had too many who was willing to volunteer. So basically, they were selecting people due to interest in chess, and it basically gives away how big a country of India is that you can get that many volunteers who actually also is.
Yeah, I agree. They were incredibly well informed. Like, I was asked by plenty of volunteers about the Chicken Chess Club or about commentary, or is Laurent actually friendly in real life, or is he always like that? Like, a lot of these questions were coming up, which was amazing. Yeah, I fully agree with that.
Yeah. I can. Yeah, I agree with you guys. And and not so. Actually, I discussed it with. To come back to the winners. Is it a real surprise? These Uzbek teams, I thought they were part of. They were seeded number 14th. We were playing the first match close to them, and I thought, okay, they are probably much better than us. I think they were one of these dark horse.
Yeah,
in the Olympiad.
I think people rated them higher than number 14th, like along with India too, where I'm not sure where they were seated. I guess around 10th, 11th as well. And you knew these teams could be tough. But I would say anybody winning, not named US, is a massive surprise in itself, because we all thought that the US team with their, 2770 average and 4 out of the world's, top 13 would just dominate the tournament. That didn't happen. And also, I think we talked about it even at halftime last episode. It never looked that way. It was never like they were cruising and then they got unlucky. They were just having legit battles with these other teams, with these young teams, and it wasn't enough in the end.
So what's the plan then now for US? They have to buy more.
I think they have to get younger players. I think that's the way. Get Gukesh up to Satorov. Like, the team that needs to get younger. Keimer stays.
Yeah. I don't know. K-Masters, yeah. Yeah. So how was your coaching experience, by the way? I mean, like, Jan, did you enjoy the process with the young kids? Because you used to coach the Netherlands, which was different, I guess.
A little different. I mean, it's always somewhat similar. I don't want to bore you with my day. But yeah, you end up being sort of busy most of the day, especially if you decide to stay in the playing hall for 5 hours until the match is over, where you don't have that much to do. But actually, I kind of enjoyed it. I feel like being there and showing very limited moral support makes a little difference. And also, it was nice because in our hotel, there wasn't much going on. There in the playing hall, at least I could catch up with whoever I was talking to, Smitzy Boy, Van Vele.
With your boy, Smets.
Suneberg Hansen, we could discuss Danish chess politics and Peter's Twitter and so on. So you get to talk to some people while, yeah, there was that. Back to the question, of course, it's... Good.
Yeah, just one question about your captaining. And you said that you had nothing to do during the games, which is actually completely true, except bringing...
bring drinks is the only way.
But what do you think about this? I mean, I think it's a bit stupid, these regulations, that you cannot talk at all to your captain. I mean, like, this yes-no stuff, like, my opponent is offering a draw, can I take it? I thought it was fine. I mean, like, the captains are really useless now.
Yeah, but I guess you want to have somebody there just to I don't know. It's very hard to measure moral support or in case there's a protest. I don't know. I never felt these draw offers, yes, no, decide yourself, was a very important factor. And I guess they did it to make really sure no one gets any electronic info, which is impossible to get as a captain because you can't leave the playing hall and you just hand in all your stuff anyway. I don't know how I feel about it, but it's clear that the role of team captain that sits there, joins the team, brings drinks, hands in the lineup and so on, is somewhat different from the role of opening theoretician, strategist. Maybe in the future, I'm not sure if this is realistic for chess, this could become a two-man job and teams will get even bigger. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but yeah, it's you have these 5 hour windows where you don't do a lot of talking all of a sudden during the day. That's for sure. Peter, you were sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, how long are your team meeting in the evening?
The official part is like 5 minutes. It's just me announcing in a very undemocratic fashion who will play next game.
Heine, yeah? You ask?
But you have dictatorial powers, right? I mean,
no, I asked for those beforehand, not just because I'm so power hungry, but because I'm a bit traumatized from the old days when I had very tough whining competitions, who gets the rest day in the German team, and they took all my energy. Like even when I didn't get the rest day, it was rough. No, but I never wanted these team meetings to last an hour when guys are tired anyway. So I want everybody to know quickly if they're playing or not. I don't think there's that much value in these big debates like who gets black, who gets white, who's feeling more tired. I think to get out of the way quickly is good. But then usually we would continue hanging out. Usually we were playing cards before that. And I would have my laptop and we'd have a look at the opponents, or sometimes I would have a very quick look before announcing the lineup because you want to look at the openings and some potential pairings and so on. So usually the official part would be 5 minutes, but then we'd stick around for another hour talking about opening stuff and who could help whom, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, just to check if it's working like the same way. I mean, like in every. I mean, like for instance, in France. I mean, okay, we have the same. Let's say with the men's team, but the women's team, they have longer. Team meeting. Like he's talking about the games, what went wrong, and so on.
Yeah, I never thought there was that much value in it. I'm curious. Like, do you guys talk about the match or in an official manner about like what went wrong and what could be improved? I always thought, first of all, mostly players know, but secondly, it also distracts from the task at hand. And usually you get the pairings at, I don't know, 10:30 maybe sometimes a bit earlier. But then, I don't know. You don't want to waste people's time too much. Of course, you could do that beforehand. Yeah. I wasn't sure. We will, of course, talk about what went wrong at the match at dinner, but not in like an official team meeting.
Yeah. I like to complain in official meetings that I'm incredibly tired. But that doesn't work anymore. I have to change my tricks. Okay. So we wanted to ask something to Peter. Maybe we should let Peter talk. I mean, poor Peter.
No, Peter was making faces, but I'm used to him making faces when you talk. Yeah. So it makes me very nervous when he's doing it while I talk as well. Well, what do you got, Peter?
No, I would like to point out that, well, it's a common theme that sort of people waste, energy on, let's say, arguing at team meetings. And I generally agree, but I haven't seen it transform into better results. I mean, for instance, well, you complain about your time at Germany.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, there we had longer debates, and I always thought it's...
Exactly. But you actually became European champions. It's the same in Denmark. That, well, we also thought that in some years we were complaining a lot and fighting internally. But we actually did pretty well. I don't think there's necessarily a correlation, but I'm just pointing out too that, this idea of complete harmony is not necessarily working. But... what I would like to also, of course, mainly debate is Uzbekistan and the Bermuda Party Gambit. I thought that's a very educative...
To get back to the thing with complete harmony, I'm also unsure about it, but I don't know a better way. I think that's still what you're striving for
me neither.
With the team. And as the captain, not complete harmony, but you don't want to encourage arguments and people... fighting. When we won in 2011, we didn't have long team meetings, as far as I recall. There wasn't that much talking going on. No, but
it makes sense. Team meetings, like to choose who will be black, for instance. What are you going to play tomorrow? Like, let's check their repertoire and so on. We don't do it. I'm not sure if it's a mistake or not, but sometimes you feel more comfortable against 1e4, 1d4, or I don't know, maybe you have nothing in the Catalan, let's say, or King's Indian or whatever. And that I would actually, to me, check the games of the opponent beforehand. That could make sense.
Yeah, I was doing that when I felt it made sense. And then when there was time, often there wasn't time also because the setting wasn't so easy. But I would check with the players one-on-one if they're fine, whatever, getting a second black or playing against that guy. So you don't have to do it in a group setting where it then becomes a debate, or well, not necessarily a debate, but
sounds very logical.
But clearly the results weren't in my favor. I don't know if there is a correlation to success with any of this stuff.
No.
But let's get to the Uzbek Bermuda Gambit. Ivan Sokolov, their coach, said they were very excited to go, but he said, boys, I wasn't born yesterday. There is a small problem. I was your age once. I know that if you go, it will be out of control, so you can't go. I'm not sure that's exactly what I said. Paraphrasing. First of all,
more or less.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Bermuda Party, well, this was announced many a time, was 18 plus. So after a team can't go to begin with, no? Nordebek, up to Satorov is 17. Board 3 is, 16.
Oh.
Yeah, I know they are. Yeah, but some of them, no? I mean, I don't know how old are they, but some of them couldn't go. Yeah, it was 18 plus. Yeah, that's true. And I met actually Ivan just right before going to Bermuda Party, and he was kind of I could feel he explained to me exactly the same what he said in the interview, and that would be the first time for him to skip. Actually, the Bermuda Party, I could see he was a bit jealous. But that's
it worked. Yeah. Show some dedication.
It worked well, and he showed the example. So he showed. Actually, I was also in the same hotel as Uzbeks, and he showed full dedication even during the match. I mean, he was there watching all games and looking.
Looking very angry, not shaking my hand as the opponent's captain. Just they were ready to go. You could see.
So in a way, we couldn't leave the hotel as we mentioned. So this Bermuda Party was a great social event. So I don't I don't regret not playing the Bermuda Gambit.
I've never played the Bermuda Gambit.
Yeah, we never did.
Peter, he's employed it many a time.
For me, well, it's natural. I don't really enjoy the Bermuda party. I just stay at home instead. But I mean, I do also think that a considerable amount of alcohol in your body will take several days to completely get out of the system and will lower your performance. And this, obviously, I've been trying to state from years without getting a lot of traction. So I'm very happy to see that someone employed.
Laurent, did you drink any alcohol at the Bermuda party? I never saw you with any drinks.
Never.
No, me neither. I had water. I had this clean substance in my glass.
How does it work? Mojito is alcohol free, yeah, right?
Yeah, that's alcohol free. No, but I mean, some has made this point that, let's say in other sports they might do it as well, but they are professional athletes. They are top trained bodies. Well, Laurent, I mean. Well, you start your day with 2 cigarettes and a baguette, right? I mean, we cannot compare ourselves with the Olympic athletes in that sense, is my impression. Yes.
So you would say Olympic athletes have better training at absorbing alcohol than Laurent Fressinet?
No, but their bodies are more fit for it.
I'm actually more sporty than what you would think, but...
I agree. And to be fair, at some point I saw a tweet with a picture of you. I thought, okay, for someone your age, you look actually very.
Oh, looks amazing. Look at the guy.
No doubt.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you probably did well at Bermuda party as well.
No. Let's not. What,
handsome man.
What happens at the Bermuda party stays at the Bermuda party with those.
Also,
those who stay away from.
We can't spend every episode talking about the 3 hours we spent at the Bermuda party. We sound too desperate. We all lead rich social lives outside of the Bermuda party. So let's get to some other important chicken chess club topics. David Howell, our dear friend David Howell. First of all, congratulations. Won the board prize. I think the best performance with, 7.5 out of 8, something sick. But we wouldn't be the chicken chess club if we didn't notice. He set out the last 3 rounds I thought he was maybe sick, but apparently it was also to make sure he gets the board prize. Do we just say, congratulations, well played, that's how you do it? Or do we say, but it's the most important rounds, you're in great shape, you should have played. What's the take there?
I will jump in and say that the rules are wrong. Gustafsson should have made it better. We cannot have a system where you actually are rewarded for not playing.
Yeah, but he did it. Yeah, no, I agree, but I think he did it. He admitted it. Actually, I congratulated him the last day. He told me I did it the chicken way, and I checked it, and I was amazed. I mean, that was amazing chickenness. So I wanted to nominate him as the chicken of the week because, okay, it's a team event. Come on. I mean, you should play. If he would have played against Moldova, maybe it would have been a top 10 for England, and. I always find this a bit weird to play for individual medals in a team competition. So, yeah, I think it's just... and I'm very surprised that his teammates was happy with that, because some guy is playing well. He has 7.5 out of 8. I mean, bench him. It's weird.
And also it's a no disrespect to their board 5, who I think had a good event, Ravi Haria, but it's a steep rating drop-off between him, who's, I think, 2.5... 05, 2.510, something like that, and David, who is 2.6, 60 or 2.650, but that's on the low side for him, and clearly he played much better in the event. I do understand as a chicken, of course, that once you have this board prize and you have it with 7.5 out of 8, it can also affect your play if you continue playing and you're a bit worried about ruining your performance. So I don't know what a better system is, but I kind of agree that it feels wrong to be rewarded. And you've seen it not just with David, but I think it's very common to sit out at least the last round or the last 2 rounds for people trying to make sure they win a board prize. Doesn't feel right. How can we fix it, Peter?
Yeah, that is... no, I would rather just keep complaining if it's okay by you. No, I would say it actually makes sense for England. I mean, well, you talk they could get in top 10, which is nice, but let's say by... Well, David winning gold, but also winning the overall best rating performance prize. I mean, you fixed the headline. I mean, this is going to be the story in your country. You can put it in the front page of your magazine and such. From a PR perspective, it makes perfect sense. And while the Olympiad is, of course, primarily a team event, these things also. I mean, remember all the traction France got when, Laurent won the gold medal and such, right? I mean, it makes sense to create some very... I do. I mean, I was sitting in the stands. I was filming it with my phone and putting it online.
But you are the only one to do that. But that's our friendship.
Maybe, but I mean, in my social circle, it was big. I guarantee you. We all three liked it a lot, and I mean, no, I get the point. And again, it shouldn't necessarily be like that, but it's not easy. Well, in football, it's easy. You just count the number of goals. You could argue you just count the number of points, but it also has some...
It's also frustrating if you're Gukesh and you score whatever. I don't even know who won on board 1, but you score against 9.5 out of 11 against top opposition, and then someone has 10 out of 11 against weaker opposition. You also feel wrong, right?
I understand. I mean, well, the old story is I'm old enough to have played the Olympiad, where I think Kasparov refused to get... the silver medal around his neck because someone had a higher percentage than him. He just took it in his hand and smiled. And, there was no... I mean, earlier it was just purely points, and then some quite weaker, rather, say, lower-rated players would win. Now they made it rated performance, but this has this downside. There's no very obvious way of making a very good system. It becomes a bit like tie-break systems. It's very easy to point to the faults. And we will always do that.
I gave it some thought in the last 30 seconds, and I actually think total number of points is nice. It's a team tournament, so it's not that important, the individual medals, and it also encourages the Olympic spirit a little bit, that if you do great for your country, even if there might be stronger players than you, that you can win something. That's not, it's not the team competition, but an Olympic individual medal, it's still big. So... I kind of like
it a little bit as well. I kind of agree. Just a number of points, that's it. And if you choose to rest, well, you limit your chances for medal. That's just life.
At the very least, it encourages everybody to play as much as possible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Laurent, you would have less gold medals if so.
But I've only one, so please. No, actually, the funny part. In Baku. I was really sick the first day, so I didn't play. I played only 2 games in the first 5, and then suddenly, after sickness, sometimes you feel a new form, new energy, and then it came back, and I started winning all my games, which was weird. But at the end, I was very surprised to get the gold medal. Actually, it was a big. So I didn't even think about it because I only played 8 games and I made a huge score, but still, my team, my opposition was, because we did badly, at least at the start. At the end, Baku was one of our best results. We finished 8th, but really, we won the 3 last matches. So we came from nowhere. So I didn't beat anyone very, very strong. Any 2600 I didn't beat. So that was a bit of a weird medal.
But just to remind us, how many 2600s did you beat in Mind Games 2012?
I did zero.
You drew all
720. No, I didn't play any. They were not. It's not a tournament for 2600s.
No, 2700s. Sorry.
2700s? Oof, I don't know. I didn't count. I beat 2800.
Wow. Well, I think we will do a 10
anniversary, yeah?
Let's do an episode. Seriously, let's do it. Just revisiting Mind Games 2012. We go through every round, like how Laurent felt before the game, what the standings were. That's a great episode. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
December.
To wrap up the Olympiad part, or maybe not wrap up, I don't know. But I wanted to get Peter's take, because I know, Peter, that now you're very committed to FIDE and Sotowski and so on. But the Danish Chess Federation is an old love of yours. And I saw that Sune Berg Hansen, he resigned after the Olympiad. I read his article, translated from Danish. My Danish is not that good. There was some criticism of the lack of, I think, employees or structure in the Danish Chess Federation. He also criticized himself. It sounded like he forgot to hand in the lineup one day, which is always your number one worry as a coach. I would always, in panic, check at 9:45 if I really did hand it in the night before, because such a nightmare, which I'm sure was tough for him.
You can actually see the video of him forgetting it, because he was doing a live stream on his YouTube channel where he was debating the previous round where Denmark had lost to Zambia, and some point during the live stream someone starts chatting to him from the team if he remembered the lineup, and he's sort of trying in panic to manage, but he did. That's
a bad look.
Oh, you can just it's all there at video. It's a mixture of sad and entertaining, but so no, that happened. Actually, it happened for a previous captain twice during Olympiad, but of course not handing in the lineup is somewhat of a cardinal sin as your role as captain, because that's more or less the only thing you formally have to do on behalf of the team, as far as I understand, right? And
we should specify, usually you have 5 players and 4 out of them play, so you just click on the names. Nowadays it's fairly easy to do. You have your login to chess results, you just click on the names. Used to be a bit tougher. You used to have to physically bring a sheet of paper somewhere. But now, you just have to think of it. And if you don't do it in time, which here it was till 10 a.m. in the morning, then your first 4 players play. So if you forget, then it's 1 till 4. And of course, that's a big mess if you had decided to, sit out board 2, let's say, and then your players prepared overnight. And then often it also involves oversleeping, so the players don't hear about it quickly. You wake up at 11 and you tell your players, oh, sorry, I forgot. Well, players will probably have checked online at 10:05, but you get the idea. It's not something you want to do as team captain. And I'm sure Suneberg was unhappy about it. But I want to ask about Danish Chess Federation. Are you still following it closely, or has your attention shifted?
No, I'm well aware of Chess Federation, but I think mainly he's just comparing it with Germany and arguing that Germany has a lot of employees while Denmark doesn't. But, to be fair, I think he says that Germany has 7 employees, we have none. I think Germany has 15 times as many members as Denmark. So we are not really comparable entities in that.
How many does Denmark have? Germany used to be around 100,000, I guess. Federations have been losing.
I thought it was only 60,000. We are around 4,000, and we're even below 4,000. So, no, I think, I think more the Danish Chess Federation suffers from quality in the decisions rather than having professionals. But we can also make 10 special episodes about Danish chess if you feel like it. I'm ready.
Could you start campaigning for whatever Danish Chess Federation president? We need a campaign.
No. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Well, now the national team coach position, of course, is open, but I'm not going to campaign for that either. But no, it's a pity. While, for instance, for Germany, you're supposed to be a top team, but for Denmark, actually had a very promising generation with the two just European champions when Suneberg took over as coach 3.5 years ago, and we really thought that now was the time, but it hasn't really worked out. Results has been poor, and that's disappointing. No doubt.
Yeah. All right.
Silence. Of course, also Germany collecting the Svane brothers. Of course, is also seen as very unfriendly from your small neighboring country. This was two Danish citizens, and who are very talented.
That live in Germany and started playing chess in Germany. So I don't think it's that black and white, but
No, it's probably is no. I'm trying to be entertaining. I mean, I understand them fully. I know even you have coached some of them. I mean, while their personal identity might be Danish, their chess identity is fully German. There's no doubt about that. It's just that. For us, they would make a massive. They would make a massive difference. There's no doubt about that. But it's really not a complaint. It's just we got a bit unlucky there.
No, I know them well. Also, the family, so I don't want to speak too much on their identity. Very, very nice people. The Svanes, but of course.
Yeah.
I understand.
Just trying to make fun of you guys. So no, that Denmark didn't do well. Lithuania did incredibly well. I mean, and that
they ruined both our tournaments.
Lithuania was number 10.
Completely shocking.
It's super surprising to me. I mean, I'm not a lot in touch with Lithuanian chess, which probably explains their success. But that they should end up as top 10 is quite shocking, and very popular in the country. Obvious. My wife was supposed to pick them up in the airport, but she unfortunately had another appointment. But that's a historic result for Lithuania, and the team 10th. They went to top 10. Yeah, and I mean, they are barely professionals, and I think the federation, on a good day, they might pay for their ticket and a double room, but I mean, training camp fees and stuff like this, that's not how it works. So that is simply huge, and I know the guys are a bit, and I'm very happy for them, and especially their board 4, Kazakovsky, who won the last 3 rounds. I played him in the Lithuanian league a couple of years ago. I had no idea who it was. I thought, okay, I'm black against some Lithuanian/Belarusian IM. Let me try to sort of surprise a bit in the opening to at least get a game. And we got a game, and the best player won, but it wasn't me. Let's put it like that. No, he was just much better than me, and outplayed.
So he crushed all of us. He crushed you. He crushed Kollars with black for Germany, who was was our big scorer on board 4. And then he defeated, I don't know if it was Maurizi or...
Maurizi. It was Maurizi.
Yeah. Maurizi for France. Yeah. We will have nightmares about these guys.
I think on the previous Olympiad, maybe probably European Championship, he did well and finished his Grandmaster title. But now he played well. But of course, board 3, Pultanevicius did even better and won a medal. But,
I don't know why they put this... I played some IM. Was, I think, with all due respect, weaker than the last boards. I mean, at least in terms of fighting and in terms of what I saw from his games. So that was a team strategy, I guess. We're the same with Cornet.
No, he rested against us. I think they had 4 guys around 2-5, 30, but one a little higher.
Yeah, but I was playing board 2 and I played
he was lower rated.
2400 guys. Yeah. So,
I don't know if national championships will sort of have some kind of relevance. Sometimes you also have to qualify.
And also, I mean, it was not to give him black because, I mean, he played white against me and didn't even try to... I mean, I didn't have to try to get a game. I mean, the guy was going for it. It's clear that he wanted to beat me. So that was a bit weird, but okay.
I have a broader question, mainly for Laurent, but maybe Peter also has thoughts. My feeling is that the general level in chess openings has risen so much. Because back in the days, even against 2500s, let's say, but certainly against IMs, people would have their favorite openings, which were often, not great. And you could, especially with white, try to find some holes. While now, everybody just plays all the good stuff. Is it because engines just are so much more reliable, give the moves quickly? Is it because of all these courses and lessons out there? What's going on? Or am I just being paranoid? Laurent, how do you feel about it?
You gave all the reasons. Information is just amazing now. I mean, like 20 years ago, I remember I had to check a game, I had to wait the next day or whatever. No engine. And you're right. I mean, like people, they know what they are doing and they are preparing and they have strong engine, of course, and while it's tough, it's incredibly tough. Yeah. Because
it's changed a lot. I mean, in me and Jan's heydays 20 years ago, we could really kill people in the opening. This is impossible. It's just gotten so much easier to have good openings. For a start, engines has become much better. Even, I remember New in Chess Yearbook, maybe 10 years ago, I sometimes noted that the articles they had on theory was not that different from what I have been preparing for a World Championship match. But of course, nowadays, with, let's say, neural network and Leela and such, it becomes much easier to have a good repertoire. Basically, it shouts a good repertoire to you. And of course, also, people like Laurent, they'll prepare a World Championship match, then they will do a course on it afterwards, and you can just get all the info. It helps. So I think it's become very, very much easier, and you have to be a stronger player now.
Yeah. It's Jan who did that. Come on the Marshall. I mean,
did that 4 years after the match.
Yeah, I would do the same.
No, and also I think a factor might be that the openings people used to love, like, I don't know, if you have your favorite, the Marozzi, which is not such a bad opening, just picking a random one here. Often if you play a secondary line there, now the computer will just say, yeah, it's +1 or it's +0.80. Well, in the old days, the computer would give something, but you could always argue it doesn't understand, and if you make these moves, it changes. Well, now it's very hard to argue, and you don't want to play an opening where you're being yelled at -1, even like a French sideline or something. It's really a different game. And I notice it very strongly that people, that even if you check their games, and they used to play a lot of, whatever, secondary openings, now it's 1e5, knight c6, it's knight f6, e6, d5 against d4 combined with the Nimzo, the occasional Grunfeld. It's just all the tough stuff is out there, and you don't see a lot of Benonis, you don't see a lot of moderns. If Magnus Carlsen is not playing, like, times have really changed.
Yeah, I agree. We managed to run away in time.
Yeah, we're crushing the game, Peter. We need to maybe have this TCEC structure where people are forced to play a dodgy opening with both colors against each other. That's the only way. We can still win in openings.
Yeah, we will do well. Well, we will do well on the crappy side.
Yeah, we can prepare. It will be fun.
Yeah. That is true. No, I like these things. I miss preparing. This kind of winning without effort feeling was really nice. I was aiming.
It was a lot of effort to win without effort, though. Like,
yeah.
It's just different effort.
That is true. But no, I mean, for instance, I think me and Jan, we had a training camp before your World Cup against
Rothstein.
This talented Rothstein, right? And basically, we managed to prepare from move 1 until
that was, first of all, thanks to you. That was amazing help, but also, you had a fair probability to actually have these things happening. No, you would go for the semi-Slav main line, and you would have some idea, and it would be very hard to play over the board. It hasn't happened for a while.
It doesn't happen anymore at all. I mean, well, when is the last time at top level you saw some very noticeable novelty and having sort of serious impact on the result?
No, I'm sure it does happen. Like I don't know, the Caruana Nepomniachtchi games with both colors. That interesting novelties, no?
Well, but now it's interesting. I mean, that.
Yeah, it's to get a game, not to end the game there. Yeah.
Well, exactly. We think that's an awesome novelty. Maybe now he's slightly better and he gets to play chess. While at that point, well, you also remember Aronian maybe sometimes in Vagancy would win without playing against Sokolov now too. So it doesn't become a full Sokolov appreciation episode. But things like that will happen. While nowadays, it just doesn't happen anymore. So it's very different times.
Mm-hmm.
That's no doubt.
We don't like it. Give us back the 2000s, the early 2000s. A simpler time.
Yeah. No, the same when I played Bundesliga. At some point, I realized, okay, this guy's 200 points less than me. I cannot bust his opening repertoire. I think I ended up playing the London and got a slightly better position and tried to outplay him probably unsuccessfully. I mean, well, this is not how it used to be. You would basically be able to kill them based on better understanding of the opening. But understanding the opening is just one click away these days.
That's the problem.
It's especially a shame for us because our one skill has gotten completely neutralized. It's now available to everybody at the push of a button.
We are selling it to others, and probably the two of us should not really complain about where we are.
I very much like to complain. Where I'm.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay,
that's true.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, that's
yeah.
true.
Okay. Yeah.
I also want to have a quick shout out to Hans, if I can do that. I met a listener at the Olympiad. Actually, he simply volunteered and said that he's listening. It's Hans, who is the owner of the DGT, and he gave me a lift for free to the playing hall from the delegates. So I would now advertise his company. But it's nice to speak with people who are actually listeners, and that is fun. That was also another thing with the Olympiad. Actually, quite some came and said that, we enjoy your podcast. So thanks.
No, I had the same experience. Just you were probably friendly. While I, of course, made a stupid joke to our friend Hans. I said, so you're the one listener, and I ran away. But No, very much appreciated if anybody's listening to these unstructured ramblings of a few chess has-beens and Laurent Fressinet crushing it in the French Championship as we speak. Peter, I think we have to talk about the elections. We're already 50 minutes in. We haven't heard anything. So the FIDE elections are over. Team Dvorkovich won, which, yeah, I guess was expected also by your campaign. The margin was very, very high. I'm sure you know the numbers, 150 something to 16.
157 to 16.
Which is more than 90%. There were some reactions which I'm sure upset you that I also found a little rough to read, like the notion being, you will probably know more in detail, this shows that Russia is not isolated in the world. Well, I was playing more of a neutral rule here on this podcast on the elections and so on. It was very, very tough to read that's how it was being used. Well, my take was more, it's Team Dvorkovich, he happens to be Russian, but he's shown in the chess world that he can get stuff done and has behaved decently and so on. But of course, that's being perceived as this shows where Russia stands in the world. I found tough.
Well, I mean, you are quoting Putin's spokesperson.
I didn't know anymore.
No, that's I think him and then Filatov. They both stated that this shows that Russia is not isolated. That's probably too strong, but of course, it is not to some extent. I mean, as you rightly pointed out, there were 16 countries voting for us. There is 35 countries who have signed on government level that we should fight Russian influence in sports federations with people with ties to Kremlin. And, obviously more than half of those didn't support us. So the chess world is quite different there. And I get your point. I mean, we wanted to talk a lot about ties to Russia and especially Dvorkovich's ties to Kremlin, his ties to the weapon industry, as pointed out by the U.S. sanctioning Skolkovo on the 2nd of August and such. But the chess world is not interested in that. There's no doubt about that. They care about what he's done into chess. And it's clear that among delegates who has the decisive word, Dvorkovich is incredibly popular. I mean, for us, it felt like a pretty closed family who was very happy with the way things were, and for us to get into that was basically impossible. Also, we didn't have much to offer, right? I mean, we had some people in meetings with delegates, but they were asking what do you have to offer? And we have nothing. As one of our guys said, he thought he could convince them that we had good values, but no one seemed very interested in that. So that was extremely difficult, sort of in the delegates' world. I mean, in the outside world, and we got even if you look at the outside of chess world, we got a lot of attention media-wise, for instance, and even within the chess world, we got quite some as well, and many were sympathetic. But in terms of putting it into getting votes, the result was.
But do you feel you took a stand for something that you felt was right and that it was worth your time, or is it more disappointment that you didn't have a sporting chance in the election?
No, a bit of both. But for me, for instance, Sutovsky was tweeting that I'm ruining my reputation. But I would say on the contrary, I'm getting the reputation I would like. For me, it was very critical to oppose what's happening and to try and measure if we could, ideally find a majority against it, but at least give countries a chance to vote against it. Like, your own country, Germany, was some of those who supported us the most. For me, yes. I mean, my speech was about that we are no longer one family, and that I stand by, because also I don't want to be in a family with people who sits on, let's say, a board of directors with Shoigu and Peskov. That is unacceptable to me. They should not be leaders of FIDE. And I mean it deeply. It's not a tactical ploy in order to attract votes, which obviously didn't work. It's because I mean it. I think it's wrong, and I think it harms our reputation, but also it's morally wrong. So, of course, it was about saying something that we felt deeply, both of us and the whole team, but that it has no chance was rather obvious to me, and maybe less to Andre than to me, but I think that's how it is. And we tried our best, but you can see that Kasparov probably also tried our best. He has a much stronger name. He had a lot more money and so on and so forth, and felt considerably short. I mean, against Kazan. I mean, we were up against Djokovic, who's a stronger candidate. Well, of course, it was hopeless. I mean, well, we could hope a bit that Djokovic gets sanctions, but he didn't, and such. But well, also you see the whole system. In principle, there was 5 candidates, but it was pretty obvious that the others was. I wouldn't say fake. Maybe some of them were, but you see that they fall back and says, let's cooperate. Coatley resigns on stage just before the elections and such. It's for me, it's a weird system. And chess is not really democratic. It's more autocratic, that everybody sort of position themselves towards the president, rather than that we have that we are sort of divided by views. And there's simply no opposition in the chess world. That you can clearly see.
I would like to add 2 things, which I think. The first, I think I agree with your point that it's not I was very annoyed when I saw on Twitter, people bragging about this 90%, which, in my opinion, shows there is a clear democratic problem in FIDE election. And you make 90%, it's not in the chess world. It's on, 200 delegates or something like that, which, I don't know how exactly it works, but there is a clear problem. It's not normal to make 90%, even if you are a much better candidate than the other one. And second thing that I would like to point that this podcast was not about politics. We are continuing, so it's good just to show. Or maybe we are preparing your campaign for.
Today is the final episode. The campaign is over. This is just the debrief.
Maybe the first one, no?
No, Well, I think this podcast is about everything. I hope that for listeners it's entertaining and interesting to hear about. On a campaign level, I would be a bit more serious than I am here. But I think it's a huge part of the chess world, and now we had elections. But I'm sure we're going to discuss some chess politics in upcoming years.
How about
the?
Anyway, I want to praise Peter for a change, because I've been mocking a lot on this podcast, and I genuinely, also mockingly, but also genuinely, I think disagree on some of the things you were campaigning with. But I think it's excellent that you found something that you strongly believed in, and then purchased it and took a stand, instead of what is often criticized, also what people criticize about you, that you're just sitting on the sidelines, tweeting, criticizing. But here, you actually did something, got involved. You might not have liked what you've seen, but I'm happy for you, and I think you should be proud of what you did.
Thanks a lot, and I am. You have, for instance, been critical of that we were too much anti-Russia and too little concrete about what to do in the chess world. And for instance, Nigel Short has afterwards criticized me for my choice of shirt and such things. But
what shirt did you wear? This is important.
The point is, I wore a polo. Well, I think
don't do it. Get a navy suit, get a clean white shirt, have them dry clean once in a while. You're set for life.
I do actually have a suit. It's not that. I think, and I'm pretty happy with my clothes at Weiser and such. But I think the point is, it doesn't.
I'm sure Victoria agrees with me.
I could have worn a suit.
I said something genuinely nice. It's back to bullying. No, but sorry, make your point.
No, that's good. My point is that, well, you can say that we talk too much about this or about that, and what we were close. But I sort of retorted to Nigel, is saying it would be like me criticizing his strategy against Kasparov. I think his strategy was wrong, but he would have lost with a bunch anyway, and it's the same here. There was no good strategy. It's not like a game of chess. If you just play the right moves, you win. No, we could have done whatever. We would have lost by a landslide to Arkady anyway, because the situation is incredibly asymmetrical. He's popular, but also he knows everybody. He has spent money on everybody for a while. And, you could see there, Arkady has a huge stand. He has a lot of Russian employees who treats people nicely. The evening before the votes, less than 12 hours before people have to put out ballots, Djokovic has a sponsored party in a sort of in a club nearby for all the delegates.
Why didn't we know about this party, Laurent?
Of course
we need better sources.
Yeah, but we're not delegates. We should get there. We should.
I think I can get there. I think I can, with some work, I can become the German.
Yeah, I mean, you're everywhere.
Yeah, I'm connected.
So,
yeah. It's like, well, I mean, this idea that we could compete was obvious, especially arriving in Chennai. We could see that, no, this is a very close club, and they might smile to us, but they're not interested in us at all, what we have to say, with a few exceptions. And nothing particularly wrong with that, but it becomes a very close system, but it's extremely hard to... I mean, you can see the only one who has beaten the system is Dvorkovich himself. And he did that with incredible state resources.
Also, once the system started crumbling a bit, he ran against Makropoulos, not against Yumshinov, and it wasn't... Yeah,
well, exactly.
Wasn't backed by Russia.
He did it at some point when they were extremely weak. He did it with massive resources. I mean, I think even he was using Gazprom private plane to fly around, and he had a bunch of money and a team and so on, and he won a very close competition, right? I mean, this idea that we would stand a chance is obviously nonsense, and it was pretty clear as things got around. But as you said, that we felt strongly for it, and I think the choreography was there should be some kind of opposition who would lose to Dvorkovich, so it looked for real. I mean, well, you saw some of the candidates who then dropped out, and well, I think we ensured at least there was a real choice, and that also that there would be some debate about our ties to Russia. It didn't affect the outcome, but I think the dialogue.
When is a debate with Sutovsky? Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna challenge him for another debate. I invite him. Let's see if he has that time now.
Yeah.
I think. I'm. Anytime.
No, but
let's debate.
No, I have some respect, and I will praise you for this for going this campaigning for lost cause, basically, which is beautiful because.
Yeah, well, again, also I want to point out it was not my decision that Boris Poulos was running. This was a decision he took without having anything to do with me. So I decided to support a project rather to start it. That's maybe also a significant difference.
To be fair, I'm mainly disappointed about my appeal committee jobs, which you promised to me. So
no, I'm happy I played my cards right. Like Emil Dana, we'll talk. We'll talk.
Emil, please. I apologize. Sometimes I spoke too fast, So I'm still a candidate.
Oh well, you can see that they have made quite some promises. Now they have to create an extra advisory board.
Advisory for appeals committee.
Advisory are my favorites. Who's advising? Kramnik is advising now, no? He knows the world.
Is advising. Yeah. Well, I think after Dvorkovich was elected, he had to appoint 2 more vice presidents. But I think the sum of promises was bigger than the posts he had. So they spent a long time deliberating internally who they should nominate. I think. Well, also you could see that everybody understood that the presidential election was a foregone conclusion, so no one cared. But about all the secondary positions, there was a lot going on. I mean, for instance, China had a very efficient campaign that had Sion elected as a vice president with the highest number of votes, despite for her not being there, actually, and such. So, I mean, there was a lot of things going on, but for president, much less because of, I think everybody understood that it was not going to be a sort of very close ballot.
Yeah, fair enough. On a lighter note, I got a suggestion that we should have merchandise with T-shirts that say "Stop campaigning" and such, which I think would be amazing. We can also have one. Amazing. Emil, stop campaigning. Like I would actually wear "Stop campaigning" T-shirt.
Special edition. Yeah.
That would be. That would be Emil and Dana. We should have. Course, no?
Yeah, we can have.
I mean,
we can have custom names.
No, again, I mean that was a shirt I should have been wearing for the speech. Right?
No,
maybe not.
But they should be. It would be fun.
It's true. We should.
That's a great idea. I agree. I fully agree with our logo of Chicken Chess Club.
That's
amazing.
Immortalize the mocking.
No, that's your catchphrase. You created it. That's not mocking you.
I understand.
We should briefly cover, before we come to an end here, the first round of the what's called FTX Crypto Cup in Miami, where Magnus Carlsen played chess yesterday, at the time of recording, against Anish Giri. And it was quite a match. Anish Giri, in the first game, plays one e4, Magnus plays the modern g6, very provocative. But then they get an endgame where Anish is better, somewhat better. And okay, he simplifies, makes it a draw, where I already thought maybe he could have done a little more. But the second game is the one to talk about. Some sharp Najdorf. Magnus sacrifices a piece like he's Michael Tal. He goes 95 for some open lines, ED5, ED5, and then keeps attacking. But Anish, to his credit, and I think he's underrated as a defender, defends extremely well, makes a lot of good moves.
Magnus was completely winning, and
where was he completely winning?
Moves. But okay. Computer said
have a stronger computer. Mine never got past 0-0. Like,
okay, I mean when he plays F5, it's a blunder. Rook takes G4 is just a win.
Okay. My crappy desktop set is equal. But yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bishop B7 wasn't great, but I think in a rapid game, Anish did defend very well.
Very much.
But then after Magnus made these mistakes with F5 and so on, Anish had a position that looked reasonably stable at piece up. No, of course, it's not easy to convert, but I decided to go for a perpetual there. And even as his biggest defender, usually, and as someone who wishes him well, I thought, you can't do that. And then he went on to lose that match, which was a bit, the writing was on the wall. No, after he gave draws in two better positions, especially the second game there, he went on to lose game 3 and 4.
The second one, I mean, is criminal because, well, A, he's winning, but also B, even if it's 50-50 who's going to win, I mean, the swing would be heavily great for him to gamble. I mean, that was a bad decision. And, well, he just got completely outplayed in the next two games. So I think, I mean, that was very much chicken instincts. I mean, you understand that you really, really should play on.
No, I fully understand what happened as a fellow chicken. And I also know that deep down inside, you find reasons to justify it to you, whatever. I have 10 seconds, or, in this line I'm actually losing. Let's go for the perpetual, time is running out. But deep down inside, you were winning and you missed a big chance. I think we talked about this earlier. And it does affect your play in the next games. So, yeah, he really hurt himself there.
So should I
Laurent,
specify that it made me very happy? I mean, the whole thing. I mean, like, if I would have to write a scenario beforehand, I would probably write that one. I mean, it could have been.
So your chess thriller, your chess movie would feature that scenario. Anish having a great position against Magnus.
Yeah, having a great position, spoiling it, making a door, taking a door, and then losing the rest. I mean, that's just how. I mean, it's as good as it gets. Yeah, I mean, just against Magnus. I mean, I cannot. It's a damn scenario simply.
You're basically describing Magnus' days. This happens, and then he tunes in and watches you playing some Armageddon chess as well. I think he had a good day.
Yeah.
But, I support Jan that this was. Well, it's maybe typical for Anish that there. I mean, is some potential, but it gets sort of messed up. But of course. We would probably all look rather silly against Magnus.
Yeah, but I mean, with a piece up, I would be tempted to play. But okay, maybe I'm.
But you're also not a proper chicken. You would sit there and nod your head like bang out rook of 8 and look nervous but energetic. Like
I would probably lose at the end. I would blunder something. But
didn't you in a World Rapid or Blitz against Magnus?
It was a repetition. It was in this E4 knight F6 E5 knight G8. And then I had some repetition, and I thought, I mean, fuck it, basically. I mean, okay, he just played knight F6, knight G8, so gave me two tempi. I'm not going to give him a door. Of course, 5 moves later, I was fighting desperately for a door. I lost, obviously. That was a bit embarrassing, but okay, I felt like, okay, this is, sometimes there is, it's not pride above all, but I have my pride. So
Laurent has some pride and dignity. That's why he's wrong on this podcast.
I don't know why I was invited here, but I'm glad.
You're the social glue that keeps this little group together. Exactly. Do we have to hit any other important topics? Oh, there is a question here. Is MrDodgy not funny in real life? We got some backlash after Laurent outed him as being very unfunny in real life on the last episode. I don't know. Have we seen any evidence to the contrary? Peter, MrDodgy is your boy. You guys are bantering it up on Twitter. How's the real life experience?
I genuinely agree with Alan that he gives a very professional appearance rather than funny, I would say. So I actually side with Laurent here that MrDodgy sort of feels annoyingly professional and competent when you meet him in real life, and he's not just trying to make.
Competent is a bit too much. I wouldn't endorse that, but
I was trying to annoy you there.
Competence is major.
What yelled out the competence part at you? The MrDodgy hat, the MrDodgy shirt, the MrDodgy pants, or the MrDodgy socks? Which were the ones screaming competent?
No, I think it was at some point I told him hi, and he said sorry, I'm busy working, and he didn't talk to me. So that seemed very competent.
Wow, that's actually incredibly rude. You guys meet for the first time. He says sorry, busy working.
No, the first time it's clear that I was just interrupting because I thought, he's just having fun. But on the contrary, he was actually, he might, for all I know, have been filming when I just decided to bump in, something like that. So,
So my conclusion is that he's not funny, but he's very friendly. So it's nice to meet him anyway.
That's also nice. Yeah. I agree. We still need to figure out who his ghostwriters are, because clearly.
Yeah. Well, with Jan, it's exactly the opposite. Yeah.
You're saying I'm not funny?
No, you are funny,
on the internet?
You're not funny.
Yeah, that's also true. See, I take more offense in being called not funny. I'm well aware I'm not funny.
I know. You are very funny, I think.
Thank you. No, I agree.
Okay. Good.
What else do we have? Chicken of the week. Laurent, tough choice for you this time?
Howell. But Howell is kind of England team. Let's say England team. I mean, what is this? I mean, okay, you cannot stop a player. He has 7.5 out of 8. I mean, come on. He should play. It's a team event. He should play. So this is my English brothers are the chickens of the week. That nobody said anything.
So the team all is chickens them. Because no one stood
Malcolm.
Up to it,
yeah, I'm friends with them actually.
Mickey Adams, he can't give a Dead Poet Society speech rallying the troops.
I like them, but here, I mean, it was really insane. I mean, their decision, but okay. I mean, for me, okay, I don't know.
Tough work.
Peter, you and I are uncomfortable with chicken of the week usually. Shall we just agree with Laurent?
Well, I think, Geary is obvious, but I assume you will take him, and then I can take all the delegates who was not voting for us. Well, they probably had good reasons, but even so. I think, Geary and Howell is a competition.
No, Howell was last week. No, we just didn't record. His sitting out is a long time ago.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree. It's tricky, although, once again, as a chicken, I fully understand with the system. The idea to sit out... I think we fixed it. I think it's just total number of points. Who cares about rating performance? Everybody should play as many games as possible if you're doing well. There you go.
Bing. Yeah, that's it. Strange no one has thought about that.
They used to do that, no? But sorry. I never expect any jokes.
No.
Any closing thoughts, Laurent? You have semi-finals tomorrow?
I have semi-finals against Bako. Let's see. I mean, it's a guy I played the most official games against. So, I mean, we know each other by heart. We just had so many rapid matches, so many classical games. I was doing poorly at the start, let's say, we played the first time in the French Championship in 98, actually. So that's like 24 years ago. I mean, that's just crazy.
I'm surprised it was that late, actually. You guys aren't exactly the same age. You didn't play in youth competitions, or?
No, yeah. No, we didn't play in the youth competition. He's 2 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. So, first time in 98 in this very same competition, French Championship. So, I was doing poorly from late 90s till 2010. And since then, I'm on +1 in classical with a bunch of those, and in rapid he's slightly winning, but it's no disaster. So, I mean, he's a great player. for many years, as they say. And it's going to be tough. I'm not Magnus, who can just beat him 2-0 in the World Cup. But actually, it was quarter-final. So it was the last World Cup, and Bakro went to the quarter-finals. So that was an amazing performance and show how good he is in this match format.
But actually, this podcast will only be out in a couple of days. Maybe you can tell us the opening secret you're playing.
No, it might be out tomorrow morning. No, like that's still.
Yeah, no, let's
still risky.
I'm like in the first game, so I'm still thinking.
Okay,
but,
Berlin.
Let's see. Uh-huh. I don't know.
Let's see. Okay. But your plan is to get him to tiebreaks, or are you trying to kill before that?
I would hope to. I mean, a draw as black would be good, I guess. And with white, I'm trying to. I will play because I don't think I have better chances. Let's say if I make a draw, I think my chances are better in the white games than in tiebreak. So I will do my best.
Of course. I mean, if you can isolate it to one game, especially with white, I think the right strategy.
And I'm black in the first game, so let's see.
I still remember. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're white in the first game, it was maybe a different. Now it's more easy, of course. No, I remember that you beat him in the French team championship, and I was very surprised because I didn't think you were the stronger player, but you actually managed to outplay him very well. You see here, I'm trying to get you positive wipes.
Long time ago. No, it's very. Okay, let's see. I mean, like, I played so many times and it was so close. I played like 4 Armageddons against him. So I don't know. I mean, like, it's just so random all the time that can go till the late evening. That's for sure.
It's an interesting phenomenon.
I honestly wish you the best.
Which I think, Peter, we talked about this, or maybe you taught me about the concept, or maybe it was Magnus. I'm not sure. This so-called fear of sudden death. That, let's say you're white in the second game. And often your instinct, especially as a chicken, but even not as a chicken, will be to make a draw. So you still have a chance to win the match later, even if it hurts your chances. And your chances would be better trying to win the match right there and then, at the risk of also losing and having the match end. Which, in chess happens a lot, but also in other sports seems to be very common.
Well, there is this Nobel Prize winner, which I unfortunately have forgotten his name now. But he wrote a paper that basically sort of called it, I think sudden death aversion. And I think they talked about it in American football. It's basically, you have this choice in the end to make a 1-point conversion or go for 2. And, in number of points, one point conversion is better. And then you assure extra time. But I think in extra time, you don't start with the ball and such. And then your chances are only 30% to win anyway. So then it makes more sense to gamble immediately. But the problem is that very often you will take this gamble where more than 50% of the time you would have lost immediately. And while it's good mathematically, it might make you feel bad afterwards. And people are reluctant to do it. And I think we see it a lot also in the World Cup, that people will say it's a victory to have made a 1-1 draw against a stronger player and then lose in tiebreak. Rather, they are trying to optimize getting through. I mean, the example of Laurent would be typical. Let's say he's white against Bakro, and he would, I think that's pessimistically, but just to give an example, he thinks he has 40% chance of winning towards 60% chance of losing if he gambles hard. But he could also force a draw. Maybe it's better to gamble hard because your chances in tiebreak would be worse. And people doesn't think like that. They only see that they have 40% chance of winning and 60% chance of losing, so we shouldn't gamble. And I think that's a very important strategic part of these things. But I think in chess, we're just happy collecting a little bit of rating and saying, I only lost in a rapid tiebreak, even though it's the same and such. But, there's people like Magnus who is capable of, you saw, for instance, he forced a draw against Kayakin in game 12. Simply because he understood that his chances in rapid playoff is even better than playing a single game with white.
Okay, so the draw with Caruana was more shocking.
You have to be
from that point of view.
Yes and no. It was very interesting.
He thought his chances were better
and I think
in rapid, probably than in that game.
Well, I think Henrik said some Norwegian mathematician wrote them and confirmed that they were right. But it very much depends on your estimate in rapid. It also depends on your estimate of your emotional state at the time. I also remember that Caruana was thinking for some minutes before accepting a draw, which is pretty insane because his position is considerably worse, right? So it's very interesting things. But normally people will just take the easy route instead of calculating.
But it's very well known. I mean, he was probably shocked because Caruana, because it's not, I'm offering a draw is kind of not something you are hearing from Magnus.
It's very professional. Well,
I mean, he never offered.
Caruana did exactly what Short is telling people to do. That when people offer you a draw, you should your first question should be, why on earth are they doing that, right? So he was figuring out if there was some reason, and he couldn't see it, and he took the draw. And that was pretty cool. But also, I mean, if you remember the Magnus Caruana thing, for instance, Kasparov was tweeting that Magnus will lose because he seems completely out of emotional control. And I remember going to the game to pick up Magnus and wondering, is Magnus going to be in very strange emotional thing, or is he going to be very stable? And he was incredibly stable. He didn't give a damn what Kramnik and Kasparov thought, and he knew exactly what he was doing. I wasn't aware of that, but when I saw that, I became very optimistic.
I was very optimistic.
Anyway, I'm boring.
No, not at all. Like, I think it's an interesting debate. I was just calculating Laurent's chances of making lunch if we debate this for another hour. Yeah, and my estimate was they're very low.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
And we'll be back on a regular schedule, more or less. No, we'll try to come out every Wednesday, so... I don't know. What do people say? Subscribe, rate, review, do all the good stuff you can do with podcasts, and see you guys soon. Get the t-shirt. Let's have Stop Campaigning t-shirts.
Yeah.
Bye, Laurent. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Bon appétit.